Thank you, Hillary and Vita and Joel. Woo! And all those who were shaking their hands. Now we'll sing the Lord's Prayer in our meditation hymn, followed by Reverend Aubree-Lynn's meditation, and her message titled, God Makes the River Flow.
And if you will, just take that deep, beautiful, cleansing breath and allow the breath of life to flow through you. And as you release, allow it to take everything that is unlike the peace and calm within this very special sacred ground and release it, sending it back to the nothingness from which it came. And today, imagine that each one of you have been given a brand new book. And you can give it a new title. It could be New Beginnings. It could be May 6th, 2018, The Journey Begins. Whatever you'd like to call it, in your mind's eye, right here and right now, write that title on your new book. And as you open the first page, what is it that you would like to see happen on this new journey? And write that down in your mind's eye. This is what I would like to see. And then ask the question, what is it that I need to let go of so that which I wish to see can come to fruition? And write that down in your mind's eye. For just this day, right, the journey begins, and I am on board. And just right, thank you. Thank you, Mother, Father, God, for this day, this blessing. I bless this church, this Unity Church of Sheboygan. I bless this congregation. I bless the board members, all the glorious volunteers, and this new minister. And I know as we work together, we have infinite possibilities. And very gently, very slowly, when it feels right, come back into this sacred space with me. Well, I thought it would be appropriate, since my desire was to live on the river, to write about the river today and speak to you about how I see it flowing through my life and then coming to yours. So this is what I know. When you allow the rivers of life to flow through you, you'll find a new tool for transforming your life. And however you do this, you have to have a dream. Something has to begin within you and an idea, and then be willing to cross into that unknown territory to get there. My second favorite song in the whole world is I Have a Dream. And I know you're going, what's your favorite? So I'm going to tell you Over the Rainbow. That's my phrase. But my second is I Have a Dream. And for years, I have sung that, and I've crossed the stream in my mind so many times, and I do believe in angels and fairy tales and all those beautiful things. But in the song, it says, I have a dream, I cross the stream, I have a dream. So today we're going to talk about how do we find that dream? What is that dream? And it's great to have a vision, right? And it's great to have a dream. But along with that comes the responsibility, and it calls for a leap of faith and then action. And the key word is action. So I recently did a prosperity class, 40-day prosperity class, and one of the homework assignments was to find all the action words of abundance flowing to you, because prosperity, abundance flowing to you. And it was interesting, the words that the students came up with, and some of them, now listen to this, dripping, sprinkling, rushing, waterfalls, lakes, surges, oceans, ocean waves, moving, rain, and spiraling. What I found interesting, we have a list about this long, but we don't have that much time. So what I found interesting, though, that the consciousness from dripping, yes, it's a flow, but it's a very slow flow, to spiraling, which you can imagine just water going up and around and all the action that can come from that and all that can come down to you. So the culmination of all this then is there's this divine impress, and it's pushing us to move forward. And I think that's what's happening right here, to take action. It's God's way of saying, hey guys, you're stagnant. Move. That uncomfortableness that you feel, you say, well, I'm not sad, I'm not happy, I'm nothing, there's something. And that's God saying, move forward. So know this with me, because you already do. Spirit is always an endless flowing of ideas. Ideas come, I have a book and I scribble anywhere the note because I forget it, because Spirit is feeding us and feeding us and feeding us. And if we don't say, oh my God, that's the aha I've been waiting for, then we can lose it. So today I'd like to share a story with you. It's from God Makes the River to Flow. And no, this wasn't the reason I wrote the talk. The Sheboygan River was. And it's by Eknath Eswan. And it's a really great little story. So in ancient India lived a sculptor renowned for his life-size statues of elephants. And one day the king came to see these magnificent works and commissioned the statuary for his place. So the king says, what's the secret to your artistry? The sculptor gently, quietly took his measure of the monarch and replied, Great king, when with the aid of many men, I go to the quarry and we bring back a gigantic piece of rock. And it's from the banks of the river. And then I just sit and look at it. For a long time, I just sit and look at it. I focus it from every angle I look at it, and I start to feel inside of me. And I won't let anyone or anybody disturb me. At first I see nothing but a huge big piece of rock. And it's fairly resentful having been driven and taken from that cool water, he says. Then slowly, very, very slowly, I begin to notice something of substance in that rock. And then I feel a presentation, an outline, and my eye begins to see. The outline grows stronger and stronger, and I watch with an open eye and a joyful, eager heart. So when something is coming to us, don't let that, oh, I can never do that, come in. Let that joyous expectancy that the artist is saying here. And the outline grows stronger and stronger, and oh yes, I see an elephant stirring in there. Only then do I start the work. So what the story is telling us then is that there's something always within us, and it needs to be still until the seeds begin to germinate, until the idea begins to form into a clearer shape. Now, some seeds that you plant, boom, it works. This morning, I couldn't find God Makes the River Flow because all of the books were all shoved on the bookcase. So I said, okay, so I started looking, and then I said, St. Anthony, Holy Tony. He's the patron saint of finding things. And I said, I don't have time for this. I should have done this last night. So find the book. And I went like, there it is. Thank you, Holy Tony. But see, so sometimes it manifests right away, and other times it takes longer. But we have to have the presence and the willingness to be still and know. When you allow the rivers of life to flow through and within you, you'll find the tools for transforming your life. So then there's a question here then. Are you willing to bring yourself to the higher existence and transform your life? Or are you willing to just be that drip of water and just let it happen? You know what? We have a higher existence in us, and we're always looking for it. Stop looking. It's already there. It's already there within us. And there's this spark of divinity that's within each one of us that's just waiting for your acceptance and your recognition of it. What does the universe always say to us? Yes. Yes, the universe always says yes. But what are we saying to the universe that it's saying yes back to us? That's where we have to be careful. So let's go on another imaginary adventure together. And if you're comfortable with me, and close your eyes, if you're comfortable. So imagine with me, if you will, you're going to take a big leap of faith. You are going to be so bold that you skip over the stream of safe, sparkling waters, and go right out into the river of infinite possibilities. Herein lies the leap of faith. You're going to go out in a rowboat and leave the oars on the shore. The only thing that you have with you is the artist's chisel and hammer and a feeling of great expectancy. Today, you are knowing that Spirit is your guide, and you will find your way to the right and perfect shore. You are drifting, complete faith, trusting, feeling safe, protected with a feeling of awe of the calmness and peace in your heart as you feel the gentle swells of the river around you. Think about the unknown shore. What could be there? What would you like to see? What is it you will take your hammer and break down and chisel away to see what's in your mind's eye? What is it? And when you're ready, slowly, gently, come back to this space and time. So each one of us, myself included, have a powerful elephant inside us, just waiting to be discovered. So are you ready to allow it to stir and take form and come into fruition? So I challenge you today not to let your dreams be locked in this hard rock of stone, because if you do that, that's how your heart becomes a rock of stone. And you don't want that for your life. So no more using a dull little chisel to carve out itty-bitty little pieces of happiness. Be bold. Take that hammer of life and break down all that is not for your highest good, and do that today. And be done with it. Then you take the new sharp chisel and you carve out the life that you want. Can you see that? Can you be that daring? Are you with me? Yeah? Can you be that daring to chip away at the old and allow the new to brilliantly shine through? It doesn't matter if you're 16, 20, 80, or 100. There is still something always inside us that wants to come up and out into the world and say, look at the magnificence of all life that is around me. So I have a question for you. What does the river do? And this is loud, you can answer a question. What does the river do? It's not rhetorical. And what does the river do when it comes into a big blockage of debris? Goes around it. What else does it do? Through it? Right. Over it. Right. It does that. It goes around and it pushes everything out of its way. That's called infinite intelligence, right? Or Mother Nature moving life along its path. So here's what I have a question about. Why is it with the power to think and act, the river knows more than we do? We, who have the brains that can reason and think, forget that we have the same choices. Is the river smarter than we are? Or does the river just know to stay in the flow of infinite intelligence? Even the great teacher said, cast your net on the right side of the boat. To me, what that says is, if one thing isn't working, look in another direction. Get a new perspective. And Eric Butterworth says it this way, it's just a matter of consciousness. Oh my goodness. Consciousness and not the will of God or the fickle hand of faith. And consciousness can be changed. The disciples were not in the flow of life, but as soon as they changed their perspective, what happened? They caught the fish, right? And we certainly have the same ability. As Ernest Holmes says, change your thinking, change your life. And I always add with a little help from my friends, definitely. So just by the flowing and the healing stream of life, then, are you ready to jump into the river of possibilities? See, we're all good, but we can move from good to great. And I don't know about you, but that's where I'm going. I know I'm good. It's great. It's fine. But I want to move into that greatness of who and what I am and why I'm here. That's what I want to do. Do you want to do that? Amen. Right. Thank you. And it's written that Tehil Desjardins says, and I never pronounce these names right, so don't tell me, don't send me emails. So he says that the unimpeachable wholeness of the universe, that means we're in the flow of the wholeness. The reason I say don't tell me about the emails. So one time I was saying, I don't care what you call God. You can call God, life, universal love, and all of those things, right? I said, if it works for you, you can even call it Mickey Mouse. So I go home that day, and there's this blaring, garring email from a very Catholic lady, and she said, how dare you call my Jesus Mickey Mouse? So anyhow, that's why I say, if I say something wrong, don't send me emails. It's okay. Okay, so anyhow, so whatever we're doing, I know, I try not to be funny. So whatever we're doing, even when it appears that it's not going our way, all we have to do is cast the net to the other side of the boat, and we will get there. Now, do you think coming here, I had to cross the river bravely and conquer any fear and go past unfounded self-imposed limits? Yeah, because I'm human, just like you. And the only reason that I'm up here is because I'm not afraid to speak in public. And a few more things, 7 years of classes. But anyhow, but what I knew is that if I didn't take that leap of faith, when you're dating and you go, yeah, and you call your girlfriend or your boyfriend and you say, yeah, it was nice, it was fine, nice person, blah, 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 right? Okay, so I've gone through that with churches. And then all of a sudden I get a call and I get off the phone with these 5 wonderful, jovial women. And I said, I found my soulmate. Now, Ernest Holmes in religious science says if you want a position, a job, and universe puts it there for you, then you take it. You take it. So here I am, actually living across the river. Lesson learned. Easy? No. Doable? Absolutely. See, we're all children of the one creator of life, and we're never alone. And it's time, as Emma Curtis Hopkins says, continually tells us to look forward, not back there, forward. I know that there's stories here, and I'm not discounting the stories at all. They're important. They're part of your history. But it's a new day, and it's a new day. So Emma tells us, always look upward, see the beauty. And the healing stream of life is constant. It's stream, it's reality, and it's there for artists to cross over. Your beloved James Dillard Freeman, whom I've been reading for years, because I've read Unity for 15 years or more, has this poem, and I love it. It's called Rivers Hardly Ever. Rivers hardly ever run in a straight line. Rivers are willing to take 10,000 meanders and enjoy every one of them and grow from every one of them. There are always more from where they entered it. When a river meets an obstacle, they don't try to run it over, they merely go around it. But they always get to the other side. Rivers accept things as they are, conform to the shape of the world around them at that particular time, yet nothing changes more than the rivers that are moving mountains into the sea. Rivers hardly ever hurry, yet is there anything more likely to reach the point it sets out to reach than a river? So in closing today, what I'd like to say to you is merge into the river of life. Be so daring that you take this uncharted course. I'm here, it's an uncharted course. Become the droplet of ocean that ensures that you are a divine droplet of God. That's who you are, the Holy Spirit. Always moving forward to greatness, expanding your ocean of life. And this is my prayer for you. I pray that the thread of your life is never cut before your life goes from rivers to seas to the ever-expanding ocean of life. And may the river of your life beginning in this very, very moment, flow into the sea of unlimited possibilities and to the sea of love. Let it flow inward, spirit within, the essence of who you are. So, are you ready with me to take the big, large rock of life with hammer and chisel and carve out a new life for this church? Today's the day that we do this together. We create a new life for unity of Sheboygan. Thank you.